Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav.
And I'm Harmat.
And this is a Game of Thrones. Chapter 7, Arya. In this chapter, we find out that Arya is not quite fond of the womanly arts. Can you blame her, though? Can you? Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are talking about, as aforementioned, Arya, and this chapter is very short. It has like 2 things happening, so hopefully it won't be a very long episode.
Yes.
Stay tuned until the end for some listener engagement feedback ideas. I don't know what to say. You'll see, okay? All right. So, let's just get started right off the top. Well, first off, give me your thoughts on this chapter.
Yeah, it was okay. It was definitely a filler, you know?
Okay.
Just
All
so
right.
we didn't get to like, hey guys, you're going with daddy, you're staying with mom. Just so we didn't. It was just a nice little filler, just so we get to know this lady.
Yeah, I wonder if this chapter is like before or like even during the last chapter, because in last chapter there was this mention of how Robb and Joffrey don't get along, and like this is where we see that.
Yeah.
So it may have actually like been happening simultaneously or like before that. And like, you know, on his way to Catelyn's bedroom, the maester saw them fighting. And so he was like, oh, you know, they don't get along that well or, you know, whatever.
Right.
But yes, but hang in there. Trust me. Oh, by the way, I've been reading ahead a little bit and I'm about a quarter of the way through the book and it is getting so exciting. Just you wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right.
Okay, now that I've done all the hyping up, are you ready for the Wait, do you want 60 seconds or 30 seconds for this one?
I want to say I can do it in 30, but I'll probably prove myself wrong.
Okay, well, 30-second summary then. Ready?
Cool. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we start the chapter and Arya's stitches are crooked. That's pretty much the whole plot of the first part. And then she's like, pretty much she spends the entire chapter being like, Sansa's stitches aren't crooked. Sansa's gonna marry Prince Joffrey and like all that. And then she's like, hey, I'm done with this. And apparently she's like really disrespectful and then she leaves. And then everybody's like, shook. And then she leaves
25.
And she finds her brother, John, or half brother John, and they're just vibing.
Okay, that was 30 seconds. Okay, that was an okay summary. I give that a 5 out of 10.
Okay, that's not even okay. That's bad.
You passed, but, you know, not with flying colors or anything. All right. So that was the summary. It is pretty much what happens. You just missed some things at the end. But yeah, Arya and the girls, you know, her, Sansa, some of the girls from the household, and Princess Marcella, they're all sitting there stitching. You know, as you do. That's all I have to say about it. All we know is that she's not very good at stitching, and Septa Mordain once said that she has the hands of a blacksmith, which I'm like, that's, you know, that's also a very useful skill if she can be a blacksmith, but clearly they do not think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Septa is like, who's the teacher person, is just kind of like fawning over the princess, like, ooh, look at your stitches, they're so good, even though they too are crooked, but you know, it's the princess, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
The other girls, Sansa and her little friends, are sitting in the corner and they're talking about the prince, and ooh, Sansa's gonna become the queen. I don't know. That's basically what happens.
Yeah.
And Arya gets sick of the whole thing and she runs out and says she's gonna go shoe a horse, which is good for her. Okay, so on her way to the yard, she's thinking about how Sansa is just so perfect. And even earlier, there was this point where like when the Septa is like, Arya, your stitches are terrible, everybody's like laughing at her, but it says that Sansa was too well bred to smile at her sister's disgrace.
Yeah.
Oh, I
oh
hate
my
the word
God.
bread. Not the edible kind. I do love bread, but not this bread. I am not fond of. It's like they're animals. It just reduces them so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Arya's thinking about how Sansa's, good at singing and playing the harp and the bells and just like all the feminine things or whatever. Whereas Arya is better at horse riding and math, because she is, I guess. Anything else to add in that section?
I don't think so. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, like I said, there's not much to this chapter.
Yeah.
We learned that Arya has named her wolf puppy Nymeria, which, by the way, I would totally name a dog Nymeria. I love that name, and I love the origin of the name, because she caused a scandal by naming her after the Queen of the Rhoynar, who was like, this great queen and feminist and totally ruled Dorne and everything. So that was cool. Whereas Sansa, do you remember what she named her puppy?
Lady.
Yeah. It suits their personalities. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, at this point, Arya's also thinking about how she looks like her dad, and because she looks like her dad, and she's the only one of her other siblings other than Jon that looks like her dad, she thought that it meant that she was a bastard.
Yeah.
As if like, that was some sort of indication, but
okay, but she's also 8. Like,
well, yeah, this was when she was younger. She thought this, but Jon reassured her. So I feel bad for Jon for having to do that. He's like, "Oh, you're not a bastard. You're so much better than bastards," even though he himself is a bastard. Or
Yeah,
it would suck to have to do that. What did you think of Arya? This is our first time meeting her.
I like her, but the entire time I was thinking about, I think when we were doing the Jon chapter, you were like, oh, there's more self-pity coming up or whatever. I was just thinking of that. I was like, dang.
Well, Arya's not really, well, yeah, she's kind of like, oh, my life sucks. I have to do stitches and I get to live in a castle, which is kind of basically like Jon is like, I can't sit at the high table, but I live in a castle. You can tell why they get along so well. They got the same vibe going on.
Yeah.
Later, Jon, they're talking, and Jon's like, "Oh, the girls get the house colors and the crest and whatever, but they don't get the swords, and the bastards get the swords, but not the crest." So they both got their woes to talk about.
Yeah.
And then she goes to the yard, because if she goes to her room, she knows that she'll be caught, and she does not want to be caught. And Jon's sitting up there in a window and just kind of watching longingly at everybody fighting down below.
Yeah.
And what did you think of this little scene? What do you remember of it?
Like just them there?
Well, the whole fighting and everything.
Right. Yeah, this just felt like a lot of like, I'm the alpha, and then I got bored. Because that's what it was.
And
then just watching people like literally just people egging 14-year-olds, like, okay. Like, y'all, like, okay, like, this is supposed to be, like, this is supposed to be, like, training, like y'all are just like, no, kill him, no, get out the
Joffrey wants live steel, that as Jon calls him, truly a little shit. But Robb is not holding it together either, so Theon has to like restrain him from going after Joffrey.
Yes.
And Joffrey's just making these little jokes like, oh, you're so much older and so much stronger and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was such a childish, petty little thing.
Yeah. I mean, they are just children with power. Like, imagine growing up and you're like, oh, I'm going to own the whole kingdom one day. Like,
yeah,
how could you
exactly.
how could you not be like Joffrey, I guess?
Yeah, and Rob's gonna be, the warden and person of the North, and
Yeah,
so they're
exactly.
both very kind of entitled, literally.
Yeah.
At this point, John points out that Joffrey is wearing the crests of both his dad and his mom, the stag and the lion, which is apparently unusual because you would go by the crest of your father's house. But Joffrey is so proud, and he says the Lannisters are proud, and he gives his mother's house the same level of respect as his dad's house, which is unusual. But as Arya points out, the woman is important too, so
Yeah.
can't argue with her on that point.
Yeah.
What did you think of this? The whole Joffrey's demeanor, the fact that he has this dual house pride and all that stuff.
It definitely makes me think that, as much as I do want to think that, he respects both his mom and dad equally, I don't think it's that. I think it's that just the Lannisters have such a big say in what's going on.
That they get to display their press as well.
This is just a reflection of that.
Oh,
because obviously if you grow up and you see technically your mom's family with even when we were going through the appendix, they're in a lot of the power positions that they could have had other people in, so I think this is just a sign of how powerful they actually are.
Okay.
That they honestly might be at the same level as Baratheons, which is scary because apparently they're murderers, so
yeah, according to Lysiren, for sure. Yeah. It's not a promise of a very delightful future, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just fighting, and eventually the fight is broken off. The Joffrey leaves, and his little friends follow him, and then Arya and Jon go about their day, and that's it. That's the chapter.
Straight up.
Yep. Okay, so do you have anything you remember that you want to add before we move on to predictions and stuff?
I'm just gonna look. I'm interested about the Clegane man.
Clegane. The bodyguard of the prince. Yeah. He's like, oh, you're gonna deny your prince life steal? And then Sir Roderick, who's the master at arms, is like, hell yeah, I am. What you gonna do about it, Clegane? And he says that with a, I don't know, almost as if his name is an insult.
Yeah.
Okay, so what part about him are you curious about?
Burn scars. Mans has seen stuff. I want to know what he's seen because I feel like it's relevant.
Okay, yeah, he's somebody to keep an eye on. Okay, what else?
I'm thinking. Oh, I just have written, I just wrote the B word when Joffrey was like, and I grow tired of swatting at Starks with a place word. I was like, I wrote this that down.
Little.
I felt very strongly about that.
You are allowed to swear if you wish.
Okay, that's okay. I think that's it.
Okay. Well, short chapter, great. Now, on to the predictions. Sorry if it seems like we're rushing this, because we are. I'm just so eager to get to the next chapters that I want to get through this, So, as for predictions, okay, well, what do you think anything will come of Robb and Joffrey's squabble?
Oh, definitely.
Well, I want to know what.
It'll, once they get to the South World, where Joffrey's
Robb is not going to be there. He's staying in Winterfell.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Remember, they're taking Bran with him so that he could smooth things over.
You know what? Maybe 3 books from now then.
Okay, 3 books from now.
But definitely at some point.
Okay, that is a long time.
Yeah, well, we haven't had much happen in like 20 chapters, so I'm not gonna be shocked.
Okay. Well, what kind of...
Like a big, like a whole, like a whole battle war type situation.
Because of this one little fight in the yard?
No, not because of this one little fight. Just like this one little fight, they don't like each other, then they're gonna disagree on something, and then they're both gonna have like tons of power at that point, because right now it's like their fathers and they're gonna have it later. So at that point, they're both gonna have that power, which is just gonna go to their heads further, and then they're gonna be like, hey, no, I don't like you.
Okay, all right. And this time I can do something about it, because I'm in charge. Okay, got it. I couldn't think of any other questions, so I'm gonna ask you, do you think is Arya a bastard? This is like a totally throwaway question. It's not really serious.
I don't think Arya is a bastard. I don't
Good answer.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Another similarly, because there's nothing in this chapter. What are you gonna predict on? Do you think Arya's gonna get better at stitching? Do you think she'll get to fight? Like, what's gonna happen with her?
I don't think she's gonna get better at stitching. I think the stuff she is good at is gonna come in handy eventually.
Okay.
If we do have that like war,
so
battle.
like her horse riding and math is gonna be important later. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
I'd like to think so.
Really, at the heart of this, the books are just, a testament to how important math is in the world,
Yes.
Okay, I can't think of anything else to ask you about. Do you have any just, out of the open predictions to make?
I think the wolf thing, I still feel very strongly about that prediction.
Oh, that one of the wolves is gonna attack somebody in the King's Party and that's gonna cause trouble?
Yes.
Who in the King's Party? Now that you know some of the people, I think before you predicted that it might be a Lannister brother.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still stand by that?
Maybe Jaime or Tommen.
So Jaime is one of the brothers, and then Tommen is one of the princes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the little prince is gonna... Okay, alright.
Because I think that with him, it'll be like, you hurt the poor child,
Oh, so it won't be Tyrion or Joffrey, it's gonna be...
No, I don't think so. I think it would be... Because, I'm sorry, but for Tyrion, I don't think people would, react.
Oh, and with such an outrage? Okay.
Yeah, and then, Joffrey, he's too prideful. He would just be like, I gotta get revenge. So I guess that could still be a scandal, but it wouldn't be like a everyone scandal. Or maybe it would. Maybe he's a brat, too. I don't know yet.
Okay, you still don't know if he's a brat, really?
No, I don't know if he's like a brat who complains to his parents about everything, or if he's just a brat,
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
You don't know if he's a Malfoy and whether his father is gonna hear about this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that yet.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I am satisfied with that. Mm-hmm. Now, what else do you want to look at the chapter before we talk about the listener input?
The next chapter?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, Bran.
Okay, well, that's our second chapter with Bran. What do you think we're gonna see?
Well, so far we've only had one second chapter, and it was the most exciting. So
okay, so you think second chapters are exciting?
I think so. I think first is introductory. This is the character, they pity themselves, JK, or something like that. And then second one is okay, you know me now. Now if I just talk to you more about myself, it's boring. So.
All right.
This will be interesting.
Okay. So what kind of excitement? What do you think?
I was thinking about that before you asked me. Maybe, okay, it's Bran, so it's the little baby. Maybe they're gonna be like, hey Bran, you're coming with us. And you could tell that Catelyn was like, no, not Bran, So maybe they just really, really are attached to each other because he's still a baby. So maybe he's gonna be like, no, I don't want to go. Joffrey's mean. Tommen is mean.
Tom,
But I don't...
the little kid that was flopping on his back. Like a turtle.
Yeah. Maybe. Actually, no, I like Tommen. Wait, no. Yeah, Tommen was the one who came up to John and he was like, hi.
No, that was not him. That was Rickon. Their
that was his
brother.
own brother. I see.
Arya, when she's talking about how Sansa sat with Joffrey at the feast and she got sat with the little fat one. I was like, funny. Okay, knowing what we know about Joffrey's personality at this moment, I would rather sit with Tommen than with Joffrey. So
yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be something about some drama about the fact that Bran has to go but doesn't want to, or something like that. Okay, and you think that's exciting enough?
No. I think maybe impulsively he might be actually no, he's not. He doesn't have the guts to do anything out of the yet.
Well, what do you think? What were you gonna say before you?
I was maybe he's I'm gonna run away. I don't want to go. But then I was like, He's literally a 7-year-old, and Bran isn't exactly the person to do that. Jon, definitely. Bran, no. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's not related to Bran. It's just something that he sees, and then he just gives more backstory. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I guess that's it for all of those discussions. Now we can move on to the listener input, which is the word I was looking for earlier and just could not find. So we've had a couple of inputs in the past week or a couple weeks. Okay. First is a comment on our website. Thought I'd read it. It's nice, and I thought it would bolster our egos a bit,
Okay.
So the comment is by Nell. Shout out to Nell. They say, "Hi, I found you guys' podcast on Spotify and just finished listening to all the episodes.
Yay.
Like Nav, I also watched the show and a bunch of videos about the books and started reading them, but couldn't continue after a few chapters. I'm with you there. So I thought I can read them alongside you two. I like your little established segments, and Harmat's predictions are fun to think about. Looking forward to the next episode. Just wanted to show some support and say I hope you keep it up. Yay!"
Oh my god, that's literally so sweet. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and it helps to know that there's actually somebody who's listening and, enjoying to some degree what we do here.
Yes.
So thank you, Nell. The next input that we had was a comment on our YouTube channel by Senator Sheev, who said, who actually had a suggestion for us for a new segment for the show. Their suggestion was to have a game where I go on the Wiki of Ice and Fire page and just click a random page and say what the title is and have you guess who or what that is. What do you think of this idea?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like it too. So I to test it, I went to the website and I clicked random page, and 9 out of 10 times it gave me something so obscure that I had no idea what it was. So what I did, I modified the game a little. Instead of doing it live and doing the page generation here, I went through and I clicked it a bunch, 100 times, and I wrote down 10 that I thought were interesting. Would you like to play this game?
Ooh, sure.
Okay, so I am not very creative, so I'm calling this game a game of who or what. I know, lame. Just deal with me here. So, Harmat, are you ready to play a game of who or what?
I am ready.
Okay, all right, let me get my list of things. Okay, so I'm going to ask you who or what, and then you have to just give your best guess, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, first up. Who or what is Jeor?
Jeor?
Mm-hmm. Jeor.
Jeor. Jeor. I feel like this is a ploy just to keep me mispronouncing names.
Yes.
I think it's a name.
Okay, so it's a who.
It's a who.
And then who is it?
Jeor is a knight on the Night's Watch.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. I was like, well, I mean, this is off of like the entire series, but in my brain, I was thinking very short term, and I was like, who are we gonna meet? And then I was like, people on the wall.
Okay, well, just so good guess. That I will take that for an answer. I just want to let you know, all these like generated terms, they are from the whole series.
Okay.
So, just FYI.
Sounds good.
Okay. So Jeor is done. Next up, I have who or what is a perfumed seneschal?
That perfumed seneschal.
Yep.
Someone's perfume. Maybe
okay, so
a perfumed. No. A perfumed
like a brand.
seneschal. No, I don't think so. Maybe perfumed seneschal. Maybe it's like some sort of like. Not essential oil, I just can't think of the word I'm looking for, but like some sort of substance that you use in like some sort of like ceremony, like where they're like now we shall, like, you know how for like Indian weddings you put haldi everywhere, you know? So maybe it's like it's just like for a ceremony they're like you have to put this very specific
herb or plant or something.
Yeah, just something like natural.
Okay, all right. Good guess. I'm just gonna say that for all of them. So, next up is who or what is Reznak Reznak?
What? That sounds like neither a name nor a person or nor a thing. Okay, wait. Sorry, what was it?
Reznak Reznak.
Reznak Reznak?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like some sort of like really lame rapper name or like just stage name.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Reznak Reznak is a perfumed seneschal.
What? Actually?
Yep.
No. Maybe
I was so like when these searches came up like back to back, I was just laughing because it's so perfect.
That's so funny. Okay, so perfumed seneschal. Maybe perfumed seneschal is just like an umbrella term for all of the types of perfumes you can wear, and that's like maybe an absurd perfume for someone who's like really weird and likes to be weird.
Okay, let me give you another hint. Reznak Reznak is a seneschal. It not like perfumed is not necessary.
Okay.
So if you take that out of the equation, what do you think?
What was it? Sorry?
Reznak Reznak is a seneschal.
Seneschal. That kind of sounds like you're mispronouncing essential. Essential.
Seneschal.
Okay. Man, I have no idea. I'm
just give me a guess, okay? At least tell me if it's a who or a what.
It's a what?
Okay, it's a what?
Type
it's an
of
object.
seneschal. It's a shawl that people wear in the winter when it's too cold, but they're still like, oh, we're not gonna wear jackets because we're the Starks and winter's coming, so they just wear shawls. That's it.
Okay, it's not a shawl, it's a seneschal.
Okay, you know what, Nav? I don't know. You do not get to judge me for something that I have no way of knowing.
Okay. Fair enough. Moving on. We'll do one last one so that I can rein in my laughter and not just keep laughing for the rest of this. Who or what is the God's Eye?
The God's Eye? Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
you could possibly know this already, by the way. Just
the
FYI.
God's Eye. Like, wasn't there a thing in like the trees, like on one of the trees,
like the face?
Sorry?
Like the face carved on the tree?
Yeah, is that not God's Eye? Because I remember like went to the face and they were like, Catelyn was like, I feel like they're staring at me, but maybe that's completely unrelated, but that's my guess. Maybe
okay,
it's
that's
that,
a
like,
good guess actually. Do you have your book with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, why don't you flip to the map and take a look?
God's eye. Oh, I found it.
Yeah. So it's a lake.
Okay. It's close to King's Landing.
Yep. That's what it is.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
All right. Okay, we'll leave it at that for today.
Okay.
Thank you for Senator Sheev for suggesting that game. I definitely enjoyed watching you struggle with that. Let us know if you want us to continue with that. That is a call to all listeners to give us their feedback. If anybody else has any games or segments or feedback, let us know. You can reach us on our website at popculturesymposium.tumblr.com. We're also on Facebook at Pop Culture Symposium, on Instagram at Pop Culture Symposium, on Twitter at Pop Symposium, and we also have a YouTube channel, which is also just Pop Culture Symposium. And of course, you can email me at popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And I think that is everything.
Woohoo.
Once again, all of those links will be in the show notes. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will be back next time with Bran 2. Farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.